It's gotta be the fights, right?
Insight, foresight, more sight. The clock on the wall reads midnight.
Bitch, suck my
Go Tom!
That ain't your religion, you just following your mammy. She followed your granny, she obeyed master. Did y'all even ask her? Question, just holes in them stories. Is it holes in your blessings? Yeah, I'm bold with the message. I know I ain't got the answer, but I ain't gon' cheerlead with y'all just to be a dance. I'ma groove to my own drums. Sunlight in my shadow, baby. Move till my soul comes. Let them serpents rattle, baby.
Animation is the eye candy. It's the face value of a show, the first thing you're introduced to, which is why it's such a big deal. Sure, an anime can thrive off of a stellar plot and amazing characters while having only semi-decent animation. Average animation is never the problem though. The problem is when it's below average. Bad animation can be the sole deterrent of someone deciding to watch your show. It's one of the reasons that many aren't able to give older quality shows a chance nowadays. Honestly, a flawed argument, but I won't get into it today. If it's not appealing to the eyes, there is no initial prompt for somebody to watch. But on the opposite end, a show with amazing animation gives someone at face value every reason to watch. If it looks amazing, why wouldn't I give it a chance? This is why at the pinnacle of every anime studio, their main priority will always be animation, not adaptation, not voice acting. No, animation will forever be the #1 priority of any anime. Yet, that's only the beginning. Once you pass the look test, then what? Can a show survive solely off of animation? Solo Leveling's case is unique. Unanimously the most popular anime of winter 2025 and arguably a definite nominee for Anime of the Year, Solo Leveling has been the talk of everything anime during its latest streak of masterclass episodes. Everybody in the community couldn't stop talking about the show, and I mean it's clear why. It looks amazing. In general, web novels like Solo Leveling are infamously known for their horrible adaptations. Shows like Record of Ragnarok, where the source material is coveted and loved, but ends up being adapted into something like this.
Oh, pretty good. No more pulling punches. Time for the real beatdown.
Solo Leveling is one of the first exceptions in modern webtoon history that has had not only a faithful adaptation to its source material, but has done it at such an unprecedented quality, to the point where it has some questioning, is this all the show has to offer? A valid criticism, and one I find myself often trying to counter. I mean, no matter which way you look at it, the show itself is basic. The plot is simple, the characters are your above average shonen cast. There is a decent amount of world building, but not enough to carry the show. So what does Solo Leveling have? Is it fair to say that without animation, without its fights, that it would fall to an anime that's nothing special? One undeserving of the recognition it's claimed? Do y'all remember God of High School? The Crunchyroll original that had an explosive start to its series due to its interesting cast, seemingly great plot, and crisp animation as the cherry on top. Well, actually, it was more like the entire dessert. The animation was one of the main reasons that the show was so well received, and it seemed to be one of the next new gen anime that would last for seasons to come. Nobody could stop talking about how well the choreography of the fights were, how amazing some of the character arcs played out, how unique. The show flopped a few episodes in. But it is odd. The animation quality never deteriorated. As far as I'm concerned, the animation only got better as each episode passed. So what happened? Well, the pacing was done so horrid, I literally couldn't recall a single character's name, plot line, why there were gods showing up at the end of the series. Is that a giant fucking sword? Did I mention this was a manga as well? Yeah. This was the beginning of the horrible tracklist that all future webtoon adaptations would eventually receive. The problem of God of High School was never the quality. Even with animation that rivaled the anime surrounding it, the series still failed. Animation will never retain your audience. Like mentioned before, animation, if at nothing else, is a tool used to catch the eye of your viewer. It's how you bring them in, but if they look past the animation and find there's no actual content for them to stay, well, there goes your viewer. I bring up up all of this to say that if Solo Leveling was truly carried by its animation, then it would have ended like God of High School, a dumpster fire with nothing to actually entertain its viewers. A lot of current anime watchers may not know this, but Solo Leveling was immensely popular way before the conception of an anime adaptation. Might I say it is the most popular webtoon in the United States. Solo Leveling has always been praised as an amazing story before its internet-breaking animation, and I think that's a crucial piece in understanding why Solo Leveling has done so well. Animation has nothing to do with the show's success. It's the concept that carried it to the top.
Well, that just can't be correct. Have you even read Sakamoto Days?
Sakamoto Days is one of the greatest action manga I've ever read. Honestly, there's something in the series that's able to give Battle Shonen an entirely new flair. From beautifully designed characters to well thought out aura farming panels, it's hard not to appreciate Sakamoto Days for being exactly what it's meant to be, a cool, stylistic Battle Shonen manga. Actually, it succeeded so well at this niche category of shonen that it built up an immensely popular name for itself. Sakamoto Days, the manga that understands everything cool. And so it had the perfect setup, giving the adaptation zero leeway for anything below perfection. Maybe we were asking for too much. Let's get one thing straight. The animation isn't bad, and anyone who says so doesn't understand the reason for the community being so reluctant to the product they received. The true problem is that the animation is good. Yes, we're needy, but we've been crafted to be needy. Week to week, we were given intricate fight scenes that felt like it was the work of gods. Choreography within manga panels that felt more trackable than actual animation. The reason that Sakamoto Days did so well in the manga world was mainly off of the factor that it was cool. It's not that the underlying concepts, arcs, and world building weren't enjoyable, but those all came secondary to what we all expected week by week, the quality of its fights. So when a show with a massive following whose entire fan base is centralized around how unique and effortless its fights seemed, receives something that can be only referred to as good, of course, they're gonna be mad, and you can't blame them, not in the slightest. Can you tell I'm still angry about it? Animation matters, but what matters more is its context. Sakamoto Days' case is fairly similar to Solo Leveling's. While its base concepts are entirely different, both series were able to accumulate their fan bases in almost identical fashions with their use of action and combat, and so it's up to the adapting studio to do the required research and prioritize certain areas relative to how important it was to the manga's success. Sakamoto Days failed at this step horribly, and yet in this failure, it highlights the exact reason why Solo Leveling was so successful.
Listen, A1 Pictures knew the position they were in. There was only one thing they could do to make sure that this adaptation ended in success. Give the people what they want.
A successful adaptation. Animation in context. A great show can never be great on its own. It uses the most fundamental and essential tools in order to enhance its most basic features into its greatest strengths. Solo Leveling has a fairly interesting base concept. In a world where success is predetermined, where no amount of effort can change your position on the ladder, a hunter is reborn who's able to change their position at will through sheer effort. So we're given a concept that at its core has a single strong fundamental, its protagonist, Sung Jin Woo. And so the best way to uplift the protagonist to its utmost potential will be animation. It's that simple. So yes, obviously, animation is one of the major influences of the anime, and it's easy to say that without the animation, the show wouldn't have any substance. But that's where they're wrong. Why would we take away its animation? As we've proved time and time again, animation means nothing. So when you're able to actually make it mean something, well, that's real talent. It's not as easy as it seems, you know? You can't just throw animation at something and it automatically becomes good. It's hard and expensive to animate well. The ability to generate hype from just animation is a skill that, if could be implemented at will, would be thought of as a superpower. So when it's done at the level that Solo Leveling has been able to implement, it doesn't deserve criticism and hate. It should be praised and sought after because it really is hard to do. Solo Leveling has the unique ability to take basic concepts and raise them to their utmost potential. It thrives off of its prowess to be cool, and that's more than enough to make for a great show.
You know, sometimes a cool idea is exactly just that, a cool idea. why am I on the ground, bro? Like, that ass. It's fucking 3 a.m. Holes in my fucking pants, like, bro. I don't get paid enough for this shit. Joke's on you, I get paid nothing.